This is a wheel with every item in Minecraft, which is 1107 at the time of this recording. And it's going to decide what items I can use for the next 100 days, because every day I'll spin the wheel and unlock one item per day. And on the first day I got coral. Useless! Day 1 I spawned in a forest, and it felt really weird that my first step wasn't to chop wood. I wanted a safe place to live, so I tried to find a village, but the first thing I saw wasn't a village, it was turtles. I couldn't do anything with turtles, so I swam with dolphins until I found another piece of land. Then I found iron, but I can't mine. It really bothered me. Not long after that, I found a rune portal, but I couldn't use anything in the chest, so I just took the coordinates in case I spin it later. After walking for a while, I found a beautiful mountain, and to the left is a savanna. Mountain forests don't have villages, so I went in the savanna's direction, and I found wildfire, so I ignored it. I continued walking and found a stone mountain, but the sun was setting. I continued walking at night and I found a metals biome next to a flower forest. Also found my first hostile mob, and eventually I found a village, so I hurried inside and slept.
Hey, how could you sleep? You didn't unlock a bed yet?
Even if I don't sleep, I can't do anything, so sleeping is gonna keep me sane. But I won't break the bed and use it somewhere else. I'll only sleep in the beds that are available in villages.
Oh.
And on day 2, I got Firework Star. It was useless, but at least I had a nice view. There was a snowy mountain next to a savanna. You would surely get sick if you go hiking there. After looking at the view, I explored the village, and it felt so wrong that I couldn't steal stuff. I also couldn't kill. Felt really wrong that I couldn't steal again. Feeling depressed, I walked back to the house that I claimed, but then I saw a big cave, so I had an idea. I'm gonna go explore. I found a really cool cave. Whoa. Ooh. Hey, this is Nantui, Nantui. Nantui, Nantui. Then I found another rune portal, which actually had a decent loot in the chest, so I took the coordinates. Then I found a river that was very big, so I swam across the river, but not long after that, the sun started setting. I really liked the location, and I was thinking about building a house there, but it was time to sleep. Day 3, I got Flint and Steel, which I already found in a rune portal chest, but I was low on hunger and health, so how do you fix hunger and poor health? You shuck yourself off a cliff. And it worked. At this point, I could have gone and get the flint and steel, but I hadn't unlocked a chest yet, and I had to die constantly to gain health and hunger back, so I went and explored in a different direction, and I found a dog. Whenever I can get bones, he's gonna be my friend 100%. Then I found a jungle and a dark oak forest, which was great, because if I unlock any type of wood besides spruce and mangrove, I could get them. Then I continued walking, but all I found was mountains and forests on top of them, so I decided to go to a jungle instead, and I found another wildfire, so I ignored it. I walked around in the jungle and found a bamboo forest, but unfortunately there were 0 pandas around, and the sun was also setting, so I went back to the village and slept. Day 4, I got a wooden sword, but I couldn't use sticks, planks, or crafting tables, so I wasn't able to obtain a wooden sword yet. Then I went on a hike on the mountain that I said you would surely get sick from hiking on, because I would rather get sick and die than continue exploring. But then I saw green, so I changed my mind.
That's all it took?
No, it took 3, no 4, no 5 to change my mind. Then I was gonna go explore the jungle some more, but I found a village. I still couldn't steal anything, but at least I had another checkpoint, and knowing that I could spawn near a jungle made me more confident, so I continued exploring. I found a mountain with a bamboo forest on the side, very cool, so I got on top of the mountain and I saw another wildfire, and of course I ignored it. Just kidding, I got burned with the trees. The sun was setting, so it was easier to get home this way. See? Day 5 I got Tinted Glass, but I can't do anything with it, so I went back to the river from day 2. I swam across the river and found a herd of cows, so I told them, "Don't do drugs, don't do drugs." After walking for a while, I found a village, so I checked if they were doing well. Then I was gonna continue exploring, but the sun was setting, so I went to bed. Day 6 I got lucky and spun iron ingot, so I hurried to the iron golem. Then I tried to dig 3 blocks deep, but the 3rd block kept being stone. Took a few tries, but eventually I was able to dig 3 blocks deep. Then I provoked the golem and jumped in the hole, but I gotta admit the golem was tough. I probably hit him in the balls like 50 times before he fell. After getting the iron, I threw out the dirt. Even though I could have actually kept it, I just couldn't use it. And before I started exploring again, I broke my leg. The reason is because I actually had stuff now, so I had to be more picky about when I die. And after a bit of exploring, I found a taiga. So the only unlucky wood type is mangrove. I walked around the taiga and found a dark oak forest at the end. There's only woodland mentioned in that biome, and it's usually super far, so I swam in the river instead. Then I found an ocean, but the sun was about to set, so I walked back to the village and slept. Day 7 I spun an armor stand, 0 utility for survival, so I looked around to see if a new golem spawned in, but there wasn't any, so I started exploring again. I walked through a forest, didn't drink pee, then I found a taiga that was closer to the village. After that I found a plains biome, which is easier to spot structures, so I started exploring in this biome. I found a big herd of white horses, and I was amazed by their 5th leg. Then I found a mountain with a near perfect circle. A little bit of walking later I found a swamp, and next to it is a ruined portal. I checked out the loot and it was decent. Once I got back on land it was nighttime, so I continued exploring because I wanted to find a mangrove swamp. I couldn't find a mangrove swamp, but I did end up finding a witch hut. So I went to the hut and took the coordinates, and I was gonna continue exploring, but a skelly shot me in the head, so I decided to leave. On my way back a kid ran after me, a skeleton tried to shoot me again, and I found another wildfire, so I ignored it. Day 8 I spun purple concrete powder. I couldn't craft and I was lost. It took so long for me to go back to the village that the weather changed, but when I got back I hurried up and died. Then I was gonna walk back to my first village, but it didn't take long before the sun started setting, so I went back to sleep first. Day 9 I spun arrow of fire resistance, so hard to craft, and today I went back to the first village, but on the way I found another village and another victim. I'm so good at punching balls. After getting the iron I explored the village. There was a blacksmith house and the loot was okay. There was also a library, and the village was connected to a river. It was beautiful, but it was turning night, so I went to bed. On day 10 I spun lingering water bottle, not very useful and very hard to craft, and before I left I checked what the librarian sells because I might need him later. As I was walking back home I got lost and found a savannah, so I thought about finding a village, but then as I walked further I found a floating log being burned, so it's probably the same savannah from day 1. I got to the jungle village at night and slept. Day 11 I spun an end rod which I couldn't get, so I punched the golem's balls. Then I explored around the village by swimming to preserve hunger points. I found a shipwreck and the chests actually had good loot, but I only took the iron. Then I found a ruined portal underwater and there was a flint and steel in the chest, so I took it. After that I found a really cool water cave, but the sun was about to set, so I went back to the village and slept. Day 12 I spun red netherbrick slab, but I couldn't go to the nether, and before I could craft red netherbrick slab I would need to unlock red netherbrick, and before crafting red netherbrick I would need to unlock whatever it takes to craft red netherbrick. There's too many steps, I was stressed, so I broke my leg. Then I explored the jungle again because I wanted to find a jungle temple. I went up to look for it from above, but there was no sign of a jungle temple. I was demotivated, but then I found green, so I had the will to live again. So many green, if it was normal circumstances, I would have mined it all with silk touch. I kept exploring and noticed that a forest was surrounded by this mountain. It was so beautiful, I wanted to make this place my home. When I got down from the mountain, I found a really big cave, and part of the cave is the lush cave, but the sun was about to set, so I decided to walk home. On the way home, I found a ruined portal, but I couldn't find the chest, so I just went home and slept. Day 13 I finally got something good.
Yes!
I got dark oak log, so I chopped dark oak logs all day, and once it became night I went to bed. Day 14 I got cyan carpet, which generate in ancient cities, but I didn't have the tools to mine for ancient cities, so today I chopped dark oak logs all day again. At night I went to bed and I prayed that I would get dark oak planks in the next morning, but no holy spirits offered to help because on day 15 I got strip oak log. This type of wood generates in the plains village anyway, so I destroyed parts of the villager's home, and this is the Minecraft I'm used to. Then I got carried away and tried to destroy the golem. Got too cocky. But if I set my mind to punching balls, I will punch balls. Today was also the first day I killed a monster. Then I started building my house. The wood placing wasn't hard, but I also had to break stone with my bare hands. And if I placed the log in the wrong place, I had to chop it by hand as well, which made building pretty slow. And that's all I got done in one day. Let's just sleep. Day 16 I got raw iron and I looked at what I built yesterday.
What is that?
Then I tried to find creepers in the caves.
Hello, hello, hello.
But I didn't find any and almost fell to my death. So I changed my plan. I was gonna make that thing look better. It's kind of embarrassing to say that was all I was able to build in one day, but that was all I was able to build in one day.
I built it wrong, and it took a long time to chop the logs. I'll go to sleep.
I didn't know what excuses to make, and on day 17 I got netherite hole. I'm so happy I could die.
I don't want to press respawn.
But I did anyway, and I continued building until I thought it was looking better.
Don't have a dirty mind.
And the true happiness of life is to steal the villager's bed. Day 18 I got red candle, which generate in trail runes, but that comes in 1.20. So I continued building until I ran out of dark oak logs. Then I burned it. Just kidding. I wanted more strip oak logs for the roof, but I used everything in this village, so I wanted to go to the iron village from day 5. But it was really far and I was afraid it would turn night before I get there. So I went to chop dark oak instead, and I was right because when I got to the dark oak forest, it was turning night already. I chopped the logs for a bit, but then I heard a skeleton. So I went home, and today a kid followed me again, but I should have been looking forward. Almost. Then when I went to bed, a villager pranked me. He opened the door, but the zombie went for his bum instead. Day 19, I got granite, so I looked around to see if there was any creepers from last night, and I found one in the cave. I jumped down the cave, and I made a mistake. I hurried back to the cave because I was scared my stuff would despawn, and fortunately there was water connected to dirt, so I mined out the dirt and let the water flow down. When I got down, I lured the creeper to granite, but I didn't get any granite. I tried to find another creeper but only found a zombie, so I went up and walked to the iron village from day 5. But when I got there, the sun was about to set, so I quickly chopped the strip logs. Then I slept. On day 20, I got iron bars, which does generate in the plains village, but I was more interested in strip oak logs. I even took a block from the street lamp, but it was strip oak wood, not oak log, so I threw it out. Then I went to the village I found on day 9, but this village has 0 strip logs. But they had iron bars though, so I got rid of lava with wood. Yep, Minecraft logic. At night, I tried to find creepers, which I did, but there were skeletons too, and one was targeting my head, so I went to bed. Day 21, I got polished granite stairs, which was good after unlocking granite, but I hadn't unlocked a crafting table or stone cutter yet, so I lured a creeper close to the iron bar and lit him up. And I got everything except the iron bar. Before I left, I saw an iron golem, so I burned him, and he clapped back.
Actually, what happened, I was low on hunger. It was on purpose. On purpose.
After I dealt with the golem, I went to check what Stu sells, and he was still selling quick charge. So I walked home, got lost for a bit, but eventually found my way back. When I got home, I used strip oak logs to build the roof until I ran out. It took 20 minutes to find and only 2 minutes to use. Day 22, I got smooth red sandstone slab. Gonna be a while before I can get that, so I lured a creeper to granite instead. And I got 2 blocks. So worth it! For the rest of the day, I went to the dark oak forest and chopped wood because I was low on it. At night, I went home and slept like usual. Day 23, I got light blue banner, but it doesn't generate naturally. So I tried to lure creepers to granite, but I failed. So I went and chopped wood all day while praying that I would get something good the next day. Day 24, I got black terracotta. Not good. So I chopped wood all day again. Day 25, I got wax cut copper slab. It doesn't generate naturally, and I would need to unlock a bunch of stuff before I can craft it. So today I continued building because I was lazy to chop wood. But to be honest, I was still chopping wood because I didn't have temporary blocks. So I had to constantly place and chop dark oak logs. But if we exclude the constant log chopping, it was a fun day. I built until the sun set. Day 26, I got nether brick slab, but I couldn't go to the nether, so I continued building. After a long day, you gotta find happiness by stealing the villager's bed. Day 27, I got soul campfire, but I can't go to the nether! So in the morning, I tried to find creepers, but I couldn't find any. So I built until I was out, but I didn't want to chop wood again, so I scouted out the caves. There was a lot of creepers, but a lot of skeletons too. It was dangerous, so I didn't go down. At night, I tried to lure a creeper to granite, but I got shot by a skelly, and my creeper died. And I almost died too, but somehow managed to survive, so I went to bed. And on day 28, I got something good. I can't go to the nether!
Looks good from far away.
I couldn't go to the nether and I couldn't continue building because I ran out of wood. So today I explored. I found a goat on the mountain.
Booty slap.
Then I went to the jungle village and saw strip oak logs, so I chopped it all. After I finished chopping, I swam and ran until sunset. Then I found a savanna and then a badland. I mined the red sand hoping there would be red sandstone under it, but there wasn't. It was orange terracotta. I really wanted to craft red sandstone, but that would be considered using red sand, so I threw it out. Then I continued walking until I found a ruined nether portal. But a husk tried to interrupt me, so I pretended to be Roy Mustang and burned him. After burning the husk, I tried to find the chest, but mobs kept interrupting me, so I ran away. Then I found a desert temple. I went inside and mined a block, but it would have taken a long time to mine stairs going down, and I didn't want to use the strip logs, so I left the desert temple. And after a long day of exploring, I started to feel my balls sticking to each other, so I jumped in a river. After swimming for a bit, I found a mangrove swamp, a little more exploring, and it was morning. Day 29, I got nether brick fence. I couldn't go to the nether, so I went back to the ruined portal and mined for the chest. I mined sandstone and netherrack with my bare hands, but I still couldn't find the chest, so I went to a nearby savanna to find a village. The weather changed, but I still couldn't find a village. But I did find an outpost. I hurried inside and checked the chest. I was excited because I wanted to use a goat horn, but then I remembered that I was doing a challenge, so I only took the iron and the logs. Then I noticed that there was a ruined portal nearby, but the sun had already set, and downstairs were pillagers and skeletons, so I stayed in the outpost all night. Day 30, I got cracked stone brick and I was running away from a pillager, but I was lagging, so I logged out. But when I logged back in, I died. On top of that, I respawned at home, so I had to walk all the way back to my death spot. On the way, I found a savannah village.
Ho ho ho, it's a great day.
I explored the village to see if they had a crafting table, and they did.
Yay!
I checked the loot until sunset, then I slept. On day 31, I got deep slate emerald ore. I needed silk touch, but I couldn't even use a pickaxe. So I got my stuff back, then I checked the rune portal chest. But there was nothing I could use, so I walked back to the savannah village, and it took until nighttime to get there. Day 32, I got orange terracotta, which is good because they generate in badlands. And today I left the savannah village, and the skeleton said goodbye with arrows. When I got home, I continued building until sunset, and I started liking the house more and more. But I'll never like anything more than stealing the villager's bed. Day 33, I got a bucket of cod, but I couldn't take it anymore, so I burned a few trees in the village. Then I went to sharp dark oak logs, but I was mad at my past self for coming up with this idea, so I burned the forest. Because why would you hurt yourself when you can hurt others? After burning part of the forest, I continued chopping trees until sunset.
Nice and flat.
When I got back to the village, I noticed a house was on fire, but it's okay, not our house. Day 34, I got powered rail, but I hadn't unlocked sticks or gold ingot yet, so I just ignored it and continued building until I ran out of wood. Then I climbed a mountain, swam in a river, walked through a savannah, and got to the badlands where I used creepers to get orange terracotta. I used another creeper for terracotta, then I saw a wandering trader spawned in, but I couldn't use him for anything. So I fought with a spider and used creepers to get orange terracotta all night. And I got 20 blocks. Worth it! Day 35, I got coral again, so I went home and died.
I didn't think my luck would be this bad. They say if you're mentally drained, go into a forest. To look at nature? No, to burn it. My luck is so freaking bad, man. Oh, forest ranger.
That day I didn't unlock a good item, so I was in a bad mood. But the next day, it was the same. It really helps. But trees can't scream, so I burned something that can. But this was just temporary rage. I went to look at the dark oak forest, but I saw an animal with the corner of my eye. But I was calm, so I was just petting it. Then I saw birch trees at the foot of a hill. I thought it was really beautiful. Then I found a really beautiful mushroom in the dark oak forest.
Damn it.
I walked to the bamboo forest to look for my favorite animal in the game, hoping it would heal me. I couldn't find it, and I broke my flint and steel. But even though I didn't find a panda, I found an ocelot. It was very cute. In addition to that, I found a parrot and another ocelot. Then when I was walking back home, I saw a forest burning down, and I thought to myself, what am I doing? It wasn't burning fast enough, so I grabbed another flint and steel and burned some more. To make this joke, I traveled 1,000 blocks to the first rune portal, just to find out that there wasn't a flint and steel in the chest. So I had to visit Stu's village for a quick sleep, and I had to die to regain hunger, and I had to climb a mountain to get to the rune portal with a flint and steel, which is the one that's about 100 blocks away from my house. And on day 37, I got obsidian. Unlocking flint and steel and obsidian meant I could go to the nether, which made me very happy, but I was low on hunger, so I jumped to my death, but I forgot that the last place I slept was Stu's village. So I had to climb a mountain again. But before I went to bed, I grabbed the obsidian from the chest. Day 38, I got birch planks, but I only cared about obsidian, so I stood on fire to regain hunger. Then I went to the rune portal in the desert to mine for a chest, and it was on day 38 that I realized I could keep everything in my inventory. I just couldn't use everything. I mined until night but still couldn't find it, so I changed my strategy to using creepers. The first explosion, still couldn't find it. Then as I was looking for the second creeper, a wandering trader spawned in, but he's still selling crappy stuff. And the second creeper, I had a horrible setup, so I still couldn't find the chest. Third came quickly after second, but I still couldn't find it. I tried to lure another one, but other mobs kept interrupting, so I made the creeper explode on them. But they didn't die, so I still had to fight them. I couldn't fight them, so I ran away. After that, I was able to lure a creeper in, but I died, and it exploded. I hurried back to the desert, and miraculously, everything except the iron ingots were okay. But the chest still didn't get exposed. And the item that I got for that day was strip warp hyphae. I couldn't craft it, and it doesn't generate naturally, so I continued mining for the chest. I couldn't find it, and I was low on hunger, so I went to regain hunger at home, slowly. When I got to the jungle village, I slept, and on day 40 I got lingering potion of Turtle Master, so I killed myself. Then I chose a way that would guarantee obsidian, which was to go to a rune portal near the pillager outpost, and this time I took everything, even the chest, so I didn't need to go there ever again. Then I realized I could fix this portal, but it was too far, so I decided to walk to the savannah village, and I picked up some sugarcane along the way. I also got shot by a skeleton all the way down to 4.5 hearts, but I was still able to make it to the village. Day 41 I got strip birch wood, but it doesn't generate naturally, money, so I went and stole everything from the savannah village. Then I walked home, but it took until nighttime to get there. And that night, I slept in a house without a roof. Day 42, I got cobblestone walls. It generates in woodland mansions, but it's too far. Pillager outposts, I knew where it was, but it was too far. Some houses in villages, but I wanted to complete the nether portal more. So I placed the obsidian. Then I spent 4 minutes mining out the crying obsidian. Took so long I yawned. Actually, I just didn't get enough sleep. And I needed one more obsidian block. So I went to the desert and used creepers to mine the chest. Unfortunately, there were obsidians in the chest. After that, I spent all night walking home and I went straight to the portal to fix it. But I didn't have blocks to tower to the portal, so I spun the wheel and got stripped jungle wood. It didn't help at all. I was sad, so I killed myself. Just kidding. Of course, it was just to get hunger and health back. After that, I went inside a cave and lured a creeper to granite and I got 2 blocks. But fortunately, it was enough. I didn't want to lose my stuff yet, so that night I went to bed. And on day 44, the first thing I did was walk 300 blocks past the nether portal and threw all my stuff on the floor. Then when I got to the nether portal, I spun the wheel because I wasn't ready. And I got acacia boat with chest. I couldn't craft it, so I went to the nether. And my spawn was pretty good. There was a bastion nearby. I slowly went down, then I fell.
On purpose. I was low on hunger.
I went back without hesitation, jumped down without hesitation, hid behind pigmen without hesitation, ran from piglin without hesitation, fell without hesitation because I couldn't see.
On purpose. I was low on hunger.
Day 45, I got golden apple, but I didn't care. I went back to the nether with a mission to steal something from the bastion. I juked the sword piglin, but took a full one from the brute piglin. But half a heart is still considered alive, so I continued and I took everything from this chest. Then I went home and I celebrated a successful heist with death because I couldn't use anything. Then I was gonna go shop dark oak, but the sun was setting, so I went to bed. Day 46, I got oak wood. It would have been a lot better if it was oak log, but it wasn't oak logs, so I went to the dark oak forest and shopped dark oaks all day. But the logs weren't for building, they were for the bastion, before I got shot by a gas and fell to my death.
Wow!
But it was alright because most of my stuff didn't burn, and I was able to get to the bastion and steal stuff from this chest. Then I saw the second chest and got greedy, but the gas shot and the piglins chased, I died.
For what? Stupid challenge!
I was upset, but the rain helped calm me down.
The f are you raining for?
Oh, I looked at my house as 20% finished. Then the sun was going down, so I went to bed. Day 48, I was hoping for something good but got crimson sign. Then I went to get my stuff back but accidentally dipped my toes in lava and I died.
Nice.
Then I went back and I dipped my toes in lava again and I died again. Third time's the charm. I got my stuff, went back to the overworld and slept. Day 49, I got jungle door, which can be found in desert villages and shipwrecks, but I didn't need it, so I went to explore the nether. 30 seconds in, I was getting shot at by ghast. Then I found the smallest warp forest I've ever seen. Not long after that, I found a crimson forest. I went closer to look at it because what I was looking for was a fortress. I couldn't find it, but this biome was beautiful. Then I found a ruined portal, but it was too low down, and I didn't have enough blocks, so I had to let it go. As I was walking back, I got revenge on a ghast, and I made it cry too. Then when I got home, it was night, so I slept. Day 50, I got wheat, so I walked around the village to see if there was any. There wasn't. So I went to the jungle village and found wheat next to a house. And there was also a farm. But the problem was I couldn't plant the seeds because I hadn't unlocked them yet. So I tried to lure and persuade a villager into being a farmer, but he didn't want to. So I had to use brute force. And it always works. The only problem is they might rebel and refuse to work.
I'm sorry for hitting you. Will you be my slave?
He was still mad at me, and I forgot.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Cut it out. Cut it out.
I harvested more wheat, but I didn't forget. I threw out the seeds. Then I fed the sheep and cows, and I killed the pigs because they were taking up space. It was in about the last 100 days. Then when the sun set, I went to bed. Day 51, I got black concrete, but it doesn't generate naturally. So I went and fed my sheep. Then I took care of my worker.
Go.
His name is Tutu, and he has to
work. Plant the seed. Plant the seed. Plant the seed. Hey! Rebelling? Rebelling? Booty. booty slap.
After that, I fed the cows and sheep in another pen. Then I swam to the shipwreck to see if there was any birch planks. There wasn't. But this time I took everything from the chest, and I really wanted to go find the buried treasure chest, but that would be considered using the buried treasure chest map. So I swam back home with the dolphin.
Thank you so much, Stu.
When I got home, my worker had just gotten off work and the sun was setting, so I went to bed too. Day 52, I got beetroot seeds, which was great because I already had it. I had one. So I went to Stu's village and stole their crops, but they didn't have a single beetroot seed. Then I went to check up on Stu and see what he sells. He was still selling quick charge. Then I looked at the blacksmith chest again and took everything. But after that, I didn't really know what to do, so I went back home and used all my dark oak logs.
For hunger.
I respawned in Stu2's village, but he wasn't working. But it was okay because it was raining. He deserves a day off. I got my stuff back, but the sun had set, so I went to bed. Day 53, I got basalt, so I chopped wood all day. Day 54, I got crimson trapdoor, but I was more interested in basalt, so I threw everything except dark oak logs on the floor. Then I went to the nether, bridged to basalt delta, fought a ghast, continued bridging. Then I waited for the ghast to spawn, but they didn't spawn. But I also saw that a bastion chest was wide open, so I towered up, but a piglin told me to go back down, so I did, but only to get out of the line of sight. Then I bridged to the bastion, but the advancement snitched. But no matter what, I love stealing. I stole everything from the first chest and did the same for the second chest. Got ancient debris as well, but couldn't use. But I still got pockets full of loot to go home with. As for the ghast, one did spawn, but it was too far away. And I was being chased by a piglin, so I went back to the overworld. There was still some time before sunset, so I finished the floor of my house. And the sunset was beautiful. I really wanted a bed, but I still couldn't unlock one, so I had to sleep in a small hut. On day 55, I got yellow dye, which can generate in Mason's chest, but I didn't need it. At the time, I was feeling really demotivated to continue building because the progress was really slow. But then I had an idea. I needed a break, so I threw everything I had on the ground. Then I started walking with the goal of traveling 10,000 blocks from where I started to explore this world. 500 blocks later, I found a river, so I jumped down to swim in it. 800 blocks later, I found a village. Found a house with wheat, I stole it. Found a house with a chest, I stole it. Found a library, I'm illiterate. Saw a farm, I stole it. Saw a villager sleeping, I took his bed. Day 56, I got block of quartz, which can be traded with villagers and also generates in bastions. But I was on a mission to steal crops, to loot chests, and destroy homes. After that, I left the village, swam to preserve hunger, and 1,000 blocks away from the starting point is a spruce mountain and a regular forest separated by a river. 200 blocks after that, I reached land. 300 blocks after reaching land, I found a village. Of course, I destroyed parts of their homes, stole some of their crops, and some of their jobs. Then I slept in their bed. Day 57, I got a diamond shovel, then I left the village. 400 blocks later, I found a shipwreck, so I stole the stuff and continued. 100 blocks after that, I found a ruined portal, but a drown was throwing tridents at me, so I couldn't loot the chest. 400 blocks later, I found another shipwreck. I stole stuff again, and there was a ruined portal nearby, so I looted the ruined portal chest as well. 300 blocks later, I reached land, but I continued swimming to preserve hunger. As the sun was setting, I found an ocean rune, but there was a lot of drowns, so I didn't loot the chest. At night, I found another shipwreck, so I took a break to eat a gapple, then I took the stuff. I continued swimming and I avoided land because there was a lot of mobs at night. Then I found an ocean rune and ocean monument, but there was a drown throwing tridents again. And 4,000 blocks away from the starting point is an ocean. Day 58, I got red wool and I found a rune portal in the morning, so I took some of the stuff. And the halfway point is a forest, but I was lazy to navigate the forest, so I walked around it. 700 blocks later, I swam in a river separating a birch forest. It was normal terrain, but it looked really beautiful to me. After the birch forest, it was a spruce. Then as the sun was setting, I luckily found a village, so I had a place to sleep. When I woke up, I did the usual things that I do at every village: destroy houses, steal the people's jobs, steal their valuables, and destroying more houses, which this village had a lot of with strip oak logs. So it was almost sunset when I finished. And there was a rune portal near the village, so I looted the chest, and by the time I was done, it was turning night, so I went to bed. Day 60, I got shamed, then regained my hunger. And as I was about to leave, I realized I forgot to chop down one house, so I quickly chopped it down. Not long after leaving the village, I found a snowy biome, then big taiga, which was a pretty good biome because it had mossy cobble. So if I ever unlock it, I only have to walk 7,000 blocks from home. Azalea tree too. If unlocked, only 7,000 blocks. But besides the azalea tree and the mossy cobble, I also found a rune portal. But the chest was underground, so I had to dig, and the loot was alright. And 1,000 blocks after the rune portal, I found a shipwreck with a lot of wheat, and a decent amount of iron as well. Then I swam for another 200 blocks and found another rune portal. But the loot wasn't that good, but it was okay because because there was a village nearby. Like every time I'm in the village, I stole something. Then I set my spawn before walking the last 800 blocks. 100 blocks in, I found a mine shaft. So I took some stuff, but it was getting really dangerous, so I left. When the sun was setting, I still had 300 blocks left, but I continued walking and I made it to the 10,000th block. And the baby zombie that was cheering me on also made it to the finish line. I had done it. 10,000 blocks from where I started. I ended up in a barren land. The destination wasn't pretty, but the adventure was beautiful. Along the way, I visited many villages, stole a lot of stuff, took it all for myself. It felt like middle school again, especially when I burned a father and a Police officers have found a dead body of a father and a son, and the murderer had fled the scene.
Noon kami atraparas.
I went back to the village and slept. Day 62, I got mangrove log, but my problem was
I don't want to walk 10,000 blocks back, but I don't have enough obsidian for another portal.
I went to the rune portal to see if I could fix it, but I didn't have enough obsidian, so I had to swim back. But I couldn't even get far before I got too low on hunger. I swam to get my stuff back, then I reached land, and I found a rune portal that I could fix. But a spider tried to ruin my plan, so I had to fight. It was really difficult to fight though because it was raining, so the spider wasn't on fire. I had to eat a gapple to beat it. Then I fixed the portal and jumped into the nether. And from having to walk thousands of blocks, it was lowered to just 900. But it still wasn't easy because the nether terrain was hard to navigate, and I also had to dodge some piglins. The nether's convenience for long distance traveling has its own obstacles, and that's why I was still in the nether on day 63. And almost 2 stacks of strip oak logs later, I made it home. And I got an advancement as well because I walked super far. I really missed my home. But I didn't know what to do with the items that I threw out before I started walking. I couldn't use a chest, so I tried to categorize it on the floor, but the sun was setting, so I went to bed so I didn't have to think. Day 64, I got acacia logs, but I still didn't know what to do with the items until I remembered my attitude towards the world in middle school. If there's too many problems, just burn it. And I burned myself too. And I was really excited about the new wood type, so I spent the rest of the day shopping wood. Day 65, I got gold ingots, but you can't really do anything with it except trading with piglins, and I can't use most of the stuff from piglin trading anyway, so I spent all day building. Day 66, I got quartz slab, but I was lazy to find it, so I ran and swam to the mangrove swamp. I wanted 3 stacks of mangrove logs, so I took from night of day 66 to day 67. Day 67, I got goat horn, but before I went home, I looted a rune portal chest. Then as I was walking home, I found a full enchanted chainmail zombie. I really do have good luck with these things. I also slept in my worker's bed that night, so I did some of his work for him the next morning. Then I watched a horror film before spending the rest of the day building with mangrove logs. Then I hurried to bed so I could quickly wake up and see what I built. Morning of day 69, I looked at what I built and I liked the tube, but I didn't like the stairs. So I got rid of the stairs and built another tube, but there wasn't enough logs. I was feeling a little bit demotivated because I could barely get anything done, but the wandering trader tried to cheer me up by saying, at least I don't have to sell expensive stuff and scam people for a living. I took a few steps back and looked at my house, and I liked it, especially when I got far enough and there was fog. Then I remembered that I threw out my stuff 300 blocks past the nether portal, so I ran there with an empty inventory, hoping I had left some wood there, but I didn't leave any. So I had to walk back home with an empty inventory as well and slept. Day 70, I got purple sugar box, but it was useless, and my attempt of getting cobblestone stairs was also useless. I got cobblestone, but I didn't get cobblestone stairs. But then I remembered that I had unlocked a goat horn, so I climbed up a mountain to find a goat, and then I tried to get goat horn, but I thought it would probably be easier to do it on a flat area, so I found another goat and lured it with wheat, and lured the old goat as well. Then I got into my station, and it didn't take long for the goat to... I wanted all the sound, so I made the goat ram again. Then I lured the goat to ram again. But he scammed me. The horn didn't break, but it was okay, I made him ram again. But this time he scammed me by giving me the same sound. And the last horn took until sunset to get it. But I was scammed once again.
Scam!
But it was okay because I had fun and I got a break from building. Day 71, I got redstone lamp, which does generate in ancient cities, but I couldn't mine, and I couldn't get cobblestone stairs for some reason. Then I noticed that my orange terracotta roof wasn't finished, so I went to get more orange terracotta at the Badlands, and it was going well until I almost died. I was scared to die, so I stayed in the middle of a pond until morning. Day 72, I went to talk to Stu 2. Then I continued building the roof and I was 1 block short. Then I fell to my death. It was bothering me that I was 1 block short, so I went back to the Badlands, and that night went very well. I got 35 orange terracotta blocks. Day 73, I finished up the roof. Then I used up all the orange terracotta blocks. There wasn't a lot of time left in the day, so I just fed the animals and slept. Day 74, I got iron helmet, which I already burned, so I celebrated by blowing the goat horn. Then I said hi to Stu 2, but he was still mad at me. I chopped acacia logs until the sun was about to set. At night, I went to the dark oak forest because I wanted to use creepers to get logs, but it didn't really work because I got 1 log from that explosion. But I did find an armored zombie again. I really don't have luck with anything else, so I just went to bed. Day 75, I got popcorn's fruit, but it was useless, so I just built with the acacia logs I had. Then I had some time left before sunset, so I went to chop more acacia logs, and when the sun set, I went to bed. Day 76, I unlocked shears, and I had already unlocked iron on day 6, so I could have crafted shears, but I hadn't unlocked leaves, and the only type of wool I unlocked was red wool, which doesn't generate naturally, so I didn't craft the shears. I went to chop acacia logs instead. Then I tried to finish the roof, but I didn't have enough logs. But earlier when I was chopping acacia, I found granite on the mountain, so I lured creepers to it, hoping I would use granite to finish the roof. But not a single granite dropped, so I slept to forget the pain of getting scammed. Day 77, I got diorite slab. It doesn't generate naturally, but that day I wanted to go find a fortress, just in case I unlock blaze rod later. Exploring the nether this time, I decided to go in the direction of the Sosan Valley, and it was a quick death. This time I went in another direction, but still in the Sosan Valley. Somehow there was a piglin there. Found another ways after the Sosan Valley. Then I entered the Crimson Forest, and I quickly died. When I respawned, it was turning night, so I slept. Day 78, I got dirt. Finally, an easy block to mine. So I mined 2 stacks of dirt. Then I went to explore the nether again. I was chased by a piglin. I ran from a piglin. My toes got caught in lava. Death. Went back to the nether and I fell to my death. Sleeping with tears. Day 79, I got dandelion, which was great because I had already unlocked yellow dye on day 55. So I picked up the dandelions, crafted them into yellow dyes and used it on the sheep. Bred them too. Then my brother came in my room, so I cooked some food for us. And I still didn't give up on the nether, so I went back. And the first thing I did was fight a ghast. I was able to retrieve my dirt. Then I entered the Crimson Forest that I died in. I left the forest, then smacked the ghast from long range. Also made a cool dodge. Then I found another Crimson Forest, and I died. It was nighttime in the overworld, so I used a creeper to get dirt, then I slept. Day 80, I got turtle shell, but I couldn't get it, so I built stairs going up to my house, but for some reason it didn't occur to me that dirt is ugly. So I had to spend the rest of the day mining out the stairs. Day 81, I got jungle sign. It doesn't generate naturally, and I didn't want to build that day. So with the dirt that I used to build the stairs, I went to the nether, and I tried to find the fortress again. Fortress was not found, but I died again. But I didn't give up. I got my blocks back and I continued. I found a bastion. At first I was gonna ignore it, but I saw a chest really close, so I safely placed blocks and stole everything from the chest. Then I walked through the bastion and continued. I found a warp forest, so I explored, but there was no fortress. So I walked past the Crimson Forest to the nether ways. In this biome I sparred someone, and having blocks really helped because I was able to survive 1 day in the nether. And the item that I got was brick stairs, which doesn't generate naturally. I continued exploring until I found a basalt delta, but fortress don't generate here, so I left. And as I was walking back, I fell to my death. But it was alright, getting home this way was quick too. And when I got home, the sun was about to set, so I tried to get 3 stacks of dirt at night. I only got 1 stack and 55. Day 83, I spun a bow, but a bow is useless without arrows, so I didn't try to get it and went to the nether instead. This time I went east. I wasn't even a minute in and I already got shot twice. Then it was a little bit of excitement to spice it up. After that, I continued walking until I started losing hope, but then I saw it. I finally found the fortress, found my first blaze, found a spawner, and I died. But it was alright because I still found it. When the sun was setting, I wanted a new Flint and Steel because my old one was about to break. So I walked 300 blocks past another portal to get a new Flint and Steel, and I used creepers to get dirt before I went to bed. Day 84, I got splash potion of Turtle Master. I think the turtles from day 1 are sending a message to me, but screw the turtles, I like plastic straws. I used a creeper to get dirt, but it exposed granite, so I lured another creeper to get granite, but I only got 1 block. And I didn't want to go to the nether that day, so I built a circle with dirt. Before I went to bed, I used a creeper to get dirt. I die anytime. Day 85, I got green stained glass, which doesn't generate naturally, so I continued building, but I ran out of dirt. So I mined dirt until I got 3 stacks, then I went to bed. Day 86, I got light blue terracotta, but I couldn't get it, so I just built all day. Once it became night, I used creepers to get more dirt. Day 87, I unlocked the clock, but it was useless, so I built until I was out of dirt. Then I started chopping acacia logs. At night, I used creepers to get dirt until I got 3 stacks. Day 88, I got green bed, which was great because it allows me to travel long distances and sleep anytime. But before trying to get the bed, I wanted to use up all the dirt. When I was out of dirt, I started walking to the desert because desert villages have green beds. And fortunately, I found a desert village that night. But the first house only had lime bed, and the second house also only had lime bed. But it was alright, I slept anyway. Day 89, I got banner pattern. I don't even know what that is. I checked the third house, but it also had lime bed. And this village only had 3 houses, so I had to go find another village. Along the way, I found a rune portal, but the chest was underground, so I had to dig. Until I got lazy, so I just left. Then I found a desert temple. But the only block I could use was acacia logs, which is too hard to break, so I didn't enter the temple. And finally, I found another village. And there was a green bed. F3 also said it was a green bed, so I got 2 just in case. Then I also took Junko doors because I had already unlocked it on day 49. Then I comfortably walked home, and when the sun was setting, I just placed my bed and slept. Super convenient. Day 90, I got yellow candle. It doesn't generate naturally, so I just walked home, which took almost all day. But when I got home, I placed down my beautiful beds, and once it became night, I made the creeper explode. Day 91, I got polished andesite slab. It doesn't generate naturally, and I didn't want it, so I continued building with dirt, but I ran out, so I had to mine again, then place again. At night, I used creepers to get dirt, but eventually a skeleton made me die. Day 92, I got potato. Finally, I was able to eat and I got my stuff back. Then I was gonna go get potatoes, but my inventory was full, so I used all the dirt. Then I went to Stu 2's village, but I had changed everything to beetroot and wheat. So I went to Stu's village after, but I had also taken everything from there. Day 93, I got charcoal, so I could have tried to find a taiga village with campfire, but I didn't need charcoal for anything. So I just went to the iron village and took all their potatoes. When I was done, the sun was setting, so I went to bed. Day 94, I got sea pickle, which can be found in desert villages, but I didn't need it, so I went to Stu 2's village and I changed the beetroots to potatoes, and I also ate the potatoes. It felt really good to finally be able to eat. Then I tried to get dirt from night till morning, but a skeleton almost got me again. Morning of day 95, there was a thunderstorm, so I was still able to get dirt with creepers, but it wasn't enough, and I fell to my death. But the worst part is I respawned in the iron village, so it took until nighttime to get home, and that night I got more dirt again. Day 96, I got dark oak stairs, but I didn't want it, so I mined dirt instead. Then I finished the build. That's right, I built a landing pad because
Get me out of here, please!
after begging, I continued building until sunset. Day 97, I got honeycomb block, but I couldn't craft because I had to unlock honeycomb. Then I wanted to build support beams for the landing pad to make it look sturdier, but I was scared of skeletons. And I was right to be scared because it made me die. But I didn't give up, I got my stuff back and I finished one support beam. Then I saw that a zombie had stolen my wheat. I wanted it back, but I died. But I didn't give up, I got my wheat back. Then I continued building support beams, almost got blown up by a creeper, got shot by a skeleton. I didn't give up, but I did get annoyed, so I ran away. Ran from skeleton to find skeleton horsemen. No way I could have beaten them, so I just went to bed. Day 98, I got bush trapdoor, but who cares? Breeding animals is way more fun. And I had known for some time that I wouldn't be able to defeat the ender dragon in 100 days, but day 98 was the day I accepted it. It was still frustrating though, so I blew a goat horn on a villager.
I can't beat the game! I can't beat the game! Fish, I can't beat the game!
I was lost, so I tried to find motivation by watching Stu 2 work, but it didn't help. I was disappointed that I couldn't finish my house. I had visited the realm of the dead 74 times. 75 now. Then I remembered, even if I can't finish my house right now, or defeat the ender dragon right now, I can always do it later. Everything takes time. Day 99, I felt really fresh. I chopped acacia logs and finished the roof that I had been neglecting. I used creepers to get dirt, and even though I couldn't finish the support beams on day 99, I got it done on day 100. I still had a lot of energy left to build, but I thought it'd be really selfish to spend the last day doing my own projects when I had so many other people help me. So I went to see Stu 2 and thank him for his work. I went to Stu's village and thanked the villagers, and the last place that I went to was the Iron Village. I thanked the people of the village. I still had many more people to thank, but I didn't have enough time. But in my heart, I'll always be grateful, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do these things.